Welcome back to Sports Headlines and Jackson Cougar Sports. I am your host for this and all the draft top 10 lists, Sean Davis. And this is our second rankings video we did, top 10 wide receiver, which had a lot of room for conversation with a few wide receivers being a little lower on the list and a few wide receivers being higher on the list. Go check that video out. It's on our YouTube page, it's on podcasting platforms, and it's on Jackson Cougar Sports' YouTube channel. But without further ado, let's get into my top 10 cornerbacks. So let's start this off with Elijah Molden. He's kind of one of the slot nickel guys. He's one of the better, he's probably the best nickel backer in this draft class. He has all of the physical traits. Look, he has some of, I'm just moving my camera around. Put it top right. Sorry, Elijah Molden. Actually, whoever that guy is. But look, he has some of the traits. He's a really nice zone corner. He can stay healthy. He does have any major red flags. When you look at his injury report or whatever, he has the nice traits you look for in a corner. Just for me, I don't see the value in drafting a nickel or really slot corners in general really early in the draft. But he has the traits. There's just not a whole bunch of upside. He doesn't really have that speed, which can make him an outside corner. He has the traits to be matched up against a bigger body type. Ironically, he's 5'10", but he has the traits to match up against a bigger tight end or a bigger guy or whatever in the slot or whatever. But if you put him outside, he's going to get burned. So the speed is kind of a worry there, but Elijah Molden is number 10 for me. Going to number 9, Tyson Campbell, the first Georgia prospect on my list. I have a second round grade on him. My grade is 6.59. You guys can check out everything, the grades, what they mean, and the archetypes down below in the description and in the comment section below. He's not the quickest guy in the world. He's not incredibly fast, right? He's a solid tackler. He's a really nice press man coverage, physical, try to knock you off guard at the line of scrimmage, right? But you ask him to play zone coverage, you're really stretching it. He's not really a great zone coverage guy, but really nice when you have to press him. But another reason why he's so low on the list, outside of not being incredibly fast or having long speed, is his durability is a question mark. He's had multiple injuries throughout his college career, so that's just something to keep an eye out for. I have a second round grade on him. I think if you need a corner, and he's available in the second round, like the other guys are obviously off the board. I think Tyson Campbell, especially running a little more of a man, you run a lot more man coverage. I think Tyson Campbell could be a solid guy for you. Coming in number 8 here, Aaron Robinson, out of UCF. He's another second round grade. He actually might be. I'm sorry, this is number 8, so he's not my last second round grade. But the thing with Aaron Robinson is really just he's a slot corner. Like I said, you don't really want to spend, and I'm not going to spend a high draft pick on somebody that's a slot corner. I'd rather get a guy in the 3rd, 4th round and try to develop him or whatever. And like guys like Mike Hilton, who may be the best slot corner in football, he's got paid 4 years, $24 million, where one of the best outside corners, a guy like Jair Alexander, is about to get paid 3 times that. You're talking about like $80-some-odd million. I think Marlon Humphrey's got, I don't even remember his contract, but it is way more than what Mike Hilton got paid. But Aaron Robinson here, he is a freak athlete. He had a concussion, I believe, in 2018. So, he's been pretty much clean besides that. He's not the greatest zone guy. And I think I should tell this by now, I don't give out a lot of A grades, especially for corners, because corners, they develop. Like, they don't just come in day one. Look at Jeffrey Okudah, for example, right? Everybody thought he was a stud coming in. He might still wind up being a stud, right? But, corners, it matters so much more about where you go and, the coaching staff that you're surrounded with, and what you're required to do. So there's always room for improvement, especially with the way that these wide receivers are just freakishly talented now. So that's that. Coming in number 7, but yeah, again, really quickly, Aaron Robinson, freak athlete. He has that speed. He might be the best tackler in this draft class out of all the corners I've evaluated. Again, not the best guy in zone coverage. He is really physical, really nice man coverage guy. He can work on that press coverage a little bit more too. Has a clean record in terms of health. Coming number 7, our last guy on the list in terms of second round guys. So my top 6 are all first round grades. Is Kelvin Joseph, cornerback out of Kentucky. Man, oh man, I really I loved watching Kelvin Joseph. He has like some really instinctual like plays. Like I don't really know how to explain it, but Kelvin Joseph, when you're like, okay, crap, no, stay with your man. Like he'll make a play on the ball. He's incredible. He has some of that speed that you like to see. The zone, like the coverage skills, he's solid at both areas. Obviously, room to grow and improve. He's solid. He's really nice at press coverage for a guy coming out. He's super young too. Some of these guys' his age, it's kind of hard to figure out. So we put like their graduating class or like what class they're in. He's a solid tackler, and like that's the thing. Like you want to see a guy that can tackle as well. Like some of these corners, for example, really have a hard time tackling the ball and tackling the receiver or ball handler. So it's really nice to see and comforting to see you got a Kelvin Joseph and Aaron Robinson be able to tackle with such great efficiency, and not like you don't want to see a shoulder tackle a lot. So you want to see them wrap up and finish the play. Kelvin Joseph, really nice run defender as well. Kelvin Joseph here at number 7. Number 6, Eric Stokes. My first round value or grade or whatever is Eric Stokes. He's kind of similar to Tyson Campbell. He's actually very similar to Tyson Campbell. Both have injury concerns, except Eric Stokes is a lot better in zone coverage, and Eric Stokes has that physical, I'm gonna pressure at the line of scrimmage, make life a nightmare for you at the line of scrimmage, and just has really good man coverage in general. Another really nice tackler, has that long speed of his. He just doesn't really have a whole lot of upside for me, and to put him above some of these other guys that are coming up. But he has the speed, he has the size. He's 6'1", 185. I'm looking at my notes here. One of the things I don't really like, he kind of has like a half step transitional opponents. And really quick, I'm gonna go back to Kelvin Joseph in a second, I believe. But Eric Stokes, he's physical. He sticks with this receiver through the routes. He's a lengthy corner, and he has really good ball skills as well. And he plays with a ton of heart. He has that it factor. I'm just going to go back really quickly to Kelvin Joseph here. One of the things that knocks down his zone coverage grade, he has this like weird like backdrop, like where he's in zone coverage, almost like when he goes to back. My wording here is awful, but he tries to back up or gain his stance, or he almost like stumbles. You've seen that a couple of times. So you want to see if you can work on that footwork in zone coverage. Obviously you're supposed to like back up and get your drop. It's a weird like stumbling motion. Just something to keep an eye out for. Can he develop those that footwork that you would like to see? But number 5, Greg Newsome out of Northwestern. You watch his tape. He is one of my favorite guys to watch. He's not the quickest guy in the world. That's going to be the first thing that pops out to you. And he's had some injury concerns. He had, I believe, an ACL injury in 2018 or 2019. He had an ACL injury. But man, he just has like Pittsburgh, New Orleans, pairing him with Marshawn Lattimore. He just has that it factor. He's really become a sleeper. I've had him as he's now my first. He's a first round grade for me. I think he was a second round grade before I started in depth evaluating these guys before I did this ranking. I'm trying to find a quote here about him really quickly, and just to give you guys an emphasis about who he is. He has football in his blood. Greg Newsom made clear this from Pro Football Network. Greg Newsom made clear that football was his future from an early age. The future Northwestern cornerback played part of his high school career at the famed IMG Academy in Florida, amassing 2 interceptions and 15 deflections. And by senior year, Newsom was bolstering a long frame with impressive potential. He's only a 3-star prospect, however. But I mean, I just want to put that out there. But again, he does have an incredible, by the way, with Calvin Joseph, I was referring to backpedal. My bad. Backpedals, a little weird. He does have great long speed. Okay, but look, he is incredible at flipping his hips. Okay, he's quick to diagnose and read the routes before and almost like beat the receiver to the route before without causing a pass interference or whatever. He has his head on a swivel, really instinctive, and has really nice ball skills as well. Injury concerns and a lack of that long speed you want to see in an elite corner prospect. It's kind of concerning, which is why I put zone as his archetype, as a zone corner, because I don't think you want him without that really elite long speed to be matched up on the outside with some of these elite outside targets. All right, number 4 here, Asante Samuel Jr., aka Asante Samuel. Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of the point, Sean. But anyway, look, he is so physically placed with just an incredible amount of toughness. He's athletic. He's a great tackler. He has some of that long speed that you like to see. He's really nice. Outside of my number 2 corner, he is maybe the best press corner in this draft class. Okay, and look, okay, he's the son of Asante Samuel, so he has some of that blunt line in him. Asante Samuel, one of the best corners of our generation, I would say. Oh my gosh, he is really physical at the line of scrimmage, incredible ball skills, great awareness, beating the receiver to the route. I think Green Bay, Pittsburgh. There are just where you get him in the right situation, putting him on the long side of Jair Alexander, maybe kick Kevin King, say, hey man, you stink, put him in the slot. Okay. Green Bay is great again. And I just think he is so fantastic of a player. But I really like the top 3 players a little bit more. One thing that kind of worries me a little bit is, he does get a little grabby, just a little bit that is noticeable. It's not like a big worry of mine, but it's something. But again, Pittsburgh, I think if Denver opted not to take a corner in the first round, he will be nice in Denver. But yeah, whoever gets him, you're gonna get a stud. First round grade on Asante Samuel. So you're talking like back half of the first round. It's like anywhere between, maybe like 17 and back. If you take Asante Samuel Jr., I am A-okay with that pick. All right, number 3 here, Caleb Farley, cornerback out of Virginia Tech. He was my cornerback 2, fighting for quarterback 1. And then some of the injury stuff, at least getting back surgery. So he's missing his pro day in his back surgery. So that's one cause to pause, or I'm not really excited about that per se. But he has the speed. He's a solid tackler. He's the best zone corner in this draft class. I think you stick him in Minnesota, San Francisco, if in some way, New York, if New York were to trade back and hey, you know what? We're fine with Sam Darnold. Let's go get a corner, whatever, with Robert Saleh, whatever. Let's trade back the Jets. I think any team that's running the Seattle cover 3 scheme, similar like the Legion of Boom, where you're running a lot of cover 3 defense. I think he fits perfect in that scheme. He's not really a great man cut corner, in my opinion. I'm seeing some people saying he's one of the best man corners in this draft. He is not. He is a zone hawk, beast in zone coverage. I don't see the man traits as much as well. But again, with him, he's just really injured a lot, and that's really concerning. He was fighting for before I did an in-depth analysis on him. He was fighting for my number one corner spot, right? Before before I really evaluated some of his tape some more and looked out his injury history and saw that he's getting surgery soon. So all that stuff is really, crucial. But again, even though he's cornerback 3, he might go higher than cornerback 2 because with corners, you don't really draft who's the best corner. You kind of draft which corner is going to suit your need. So, for example, Greg Newsome might go before Asante Samuel because I think Greg Newsome for a team like the Saints would be perfect. Pairing him alongside Marshawn Lattimore in that scheme and that defense, I think the Saints would absolutely do that, especially with them releasing Janoris Jenkins. I think you absolutely positively do that, right? And then you go with and then again, yes, like Caleb Farley, he's likely going to go higher than my next guy on my list because of the teams that are drafting. And number 2 is J.C. Horn. Whew. I love J.C. Horn a lot. He's my guy. Him, I really like him. I really like Greg Newsome. And I really like his name I already forgot. Kelvin Joseph. I really like the Kentucky corner as well. But this guy, physical corner, plays with a lot of swag. The best press corner in this draft class, in my opinion. The best man corner, maybe in this draft class as well, right? He has some missed tackles on the list. I just think the upside is slightly less than the first guy. He's physical, nasty in a good way, obviously, and you just love to watch him play. I mean, really, you just love to watch this guy play football. And he's maybe my favorite corner in this draft class. He's great at flipping his hips. He's actually an underrated zone corner, in my opinion. He kind of leaves his back pedal just a little bit early in his drop, so just you want to see him develop and work on, which again, you put him somewhere where he can develop these things. I think that's not something really to overly worry about. But look, he's a long, lengthy, big guy. You don't have to worry about him getting in mismatch situations. He's a great pressed guy. I think if Denver, the Broncos were like, hey, you know what? Screw Patrick Surtain, we really like J.C. Horn. I think that's fine. I think J.C. Horn is a really interesting cornerback prospect, and I love him a lot. Number 1 is Patrick Surtain. He's really nice guy, really nice athlete as well. He has some of that quick twitch as a corner that you like to see. He flips his hips really well. He kind of has the awareness and like the intellectual knowledge of the game. And by the way, I'm supposed to say Patrick Surtain a second. I apologize about that. Where he's gonna beat his man, he's gonna beat his receiver to the route before the route is even there. He has great ball skills and reading the quarterback's eyes and jumping the ball. He has great ball skills, great instinctual skills, similar to Asante Samuel Jr. While people say like, oh well, DNA, how are you gonna get that a plus for them? Because it really does help you have some of that instinct in you where you go like, okay, like hey, my dad was one of the best in the game at this. I can pick up on that and learn directly from him. Because I mean, hey, who knows? I mean, how many people's coaches are Asante Samuel and Patrick Surtain, right? That's the advantage of Patrick Surtain the second, Asante Samuel Jr. both have. I think that's something to be worth mentioning. Your best ability is reliability. He doesn't have any major injuries on his resume. And he's just going to continue to improve. I think you might be looking at Jalen Ramsey if everything pans out. He is really long and lengthy. He has long arms. I think to be able to hang with the best of the best. But that is our list. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below, like this video, share this video, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out.